So my name is Joseph McBride. I'm an attorney from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn in the house.
Brooklyn, no doubt. I represent all kinds of different people. My career started with public defense. That's where was the genesis for my criminal defense practice. I do criminal appeals, defamation work, and I represent multiple members of Congress and people in the corporate world as well. I'm a bit of a fixer, so if you're in a position of power and you have a problem at home, be it domestic or whatever it is, people come to me to sort of make their stuff go away. I have a few celebrity clients, probably the most notable are Andrew and Tristan Tate. And, controversially, I represent, not for me in my world, I represent a whole lot of people in Trump world. And I am probably the most known person for January 6th defendants, representing those people, the people who went to the Capitol on January 6th. I've been directly involved with over 20 cases. I've consulted on probably another 50. I represented people before the January 6th committee, and I represent people who have been or who are being subpoenaed by Jack Smith's probe into President Donald Trump.
All right. So, that's the big question. So how did you get into representing January 6th defendants?
Yeah, it's a good question, Eugene. So I got a call one day that a former client of ours and a good friend of my buddy Stephen Metcalf's law firm had been jammed up because he went to the Capitol. His name is Jake Lang. We knew him previously before January 6th. He was there. Steve was on his case. I was thinking about hopping on to Jake's case at the time. Next door to Jake is a guy named Richard Barnett. His name is Big O Barnett. He's the guy who had his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk. He was like, listen, I hear these New York lawyers, you're on the phone with them. They sound like they know what time it is. Do you have another one? So I spoke to Richard. I counted the costs. I knew that taking January 6 cases and living in Brooklyn was not going to be a popular decision.
Yeah.
But I just straight out didn't care.
All right.
So I said, sure, I'll help you. I took his case on Ash Wednesday of 2021. That was February. Nobody was getting out at that time. These guys were all in lockdown 23 hours a day. And I got him out 2 months later on April 27th. So this was the guy at Nancy Pelosi's desk, feet up on the desk, stun gun in the belt. Everybody's like, how the hell did this guy get out? Number one. Number two, who's his lawyer? And then from there, just a crazy amount of calls just started coming in, and the rest is sort of history. I got all my clients out from pretrial detention, where lots of other people weren't able to do that. Taken many of these cases to trial. Some of them have pled out, so on and so forth. And now I do a lot of civil rights work as well. We have multiple assaults, officer-related assaults or jail condition-related cases where people were abused in solitary, denied medical care. Eugene, you know it. You know it living in New York City as well, right? Coming up at the Legal Aid Society, I was taken to school on the evils of solitary and the evils of pretrial confinement, how improper it is. For a long time, this was an issue that strictly or primarily affected the Black and Latino community, members of marginalized communities, right? But now this became an opportunity for the rest of America, largely white Republican America, to look at the criminal justice system and say, hey, wow, this stuff does happening. It's happening to a bunch of white people from middle America. What do we do about it? And lots of people woke up because of the January 6 cases. They had no idea how horrible it has been for so many other people. Members of Congress woke up as well. And it's funny, prison reform right now in Congress is a Republican issue. And you would never think 10 years ago if I would tell you that, but it is. So lots has changed, and that's sort of the genesis of how I arrived where I'm at.